It's just the ad-libbing of a 1990s drum and bass track. Like, that's how I decide to label things. We'll start actually with the intro that did not make it onto the record. We decided to cut this. I don't know what this is.
Intro reminds me of playing at the meat locker.
Living in a motel, thinking what I should.
Yeah, so that's originally how the song started.
Yeah, I think it's just like the track list on the record itself. There might have been like an outro of the song. I think it was Fever Dream, which is just like a big, it has that outro, the big dreamy outro.
Yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah.
All right, enough of that.
Yeah.
You know?
It starts here.
Living in a motel, thinking what I should.
I think that's so much better. So let's start with the drums. Trying to go after songs for the deaf. Just that sort of feel on the kit.
A classic chicka chicka boom boom.
Yeah. But yeah, sonically, like, I was definitely going for that, you know, dry, small ambience room kind of a thing. I'm using, yeah, Studio Alpha, which is like... Do we get turned a little bit? Yeah, so really small room ambience. At this point, I think I had become very Eric Valentine pilled. And
Took an E-pill.
Yeah, I took an E-pill. And if you don't know who Eric Valentine is, he is basically somebody who does what we're doing right now, but with way more expensive productions. And bands...
We're stealing your idea and we're going to do it worse.
We're going to do it, yeah.
We're going to do it. Fuck bigger and better. We're going to do it smaller and worse.
But he
Take
can't.
that.
But he can't do it with our music, so we're
Yeah.
doing it with our own music.
Yeah.
Until he produces one of our records. So Eric, if this gets to you somehow, we'd love to make a record. But yeah, he started making these mix breakdown videos, and I was like, that's cool. And Eric Valentine's an amazing producer. He produced songs for the deaf. And I was talking about, at this point, I stole a couple things from him, like using the Saturn. So distorting the upper frequencies to emulate the feel of it going to tape. Even though I do also have a bunch of tape plugins happening in random spots. But yeah, there's a lot of gating going on all the close mics. So we'll hear that real quick. Yeah, gating a ton. And probably on the toms too, right? Yeah. Yeah. So a lot of gating happening. And I just wanted a super tight, very like choppy drum sound. And there's a snare sample in there. I did end up supplementing a little bit. That's just Logic. That's Kyle, basically.
That's Kyle.
That's basically Kyle.
All right. Totally Kyle.
Totally Kyle. What I was going to say, the thing that changed was the Swiss cheese symbol. I got that like within a day or two of us deciding that we were going to record this song. And I had traditionally always played this hi-hat floor tom. So it was hi-hat floor tom. And I never really liked that. I just always thought there was something weird about it. So I got this cymbal, and you can hear it in here. It's this, it's got a bunch of holes in it. It's got a bunch of little tiny holes in it, and it has a really, really short decay, and it sounds kind of trashy, almost like a China cymbal. And it had the perfect decay. It just didn't last that long, and so I ended up using that. And you can hear that in here. I'll go back a little bit here. Yeah, so that thing ended up being like a main part of the drum sound in this. Yeah, and other than that, there's maybe, well, there's this section. This really is technically all drums. We'll check this out real quick. There's a lot of stuff.
Even that, woo! That's a drum, actually.
That's pretty crazy. So the original versions of this song did not have any of that stuff. This was our guitar player, Alex, his influence, and he loves breakcore and all kinds of break music like that. So it just made its way in. He was hanging out with us the day we were recording this, and it happened. So the drums actually cut out, and then we take a piece of it and use it in the other part of the fill. So if you hear just the drums, the drums...
So sick, dude. So sick.
The drums cut out.
It's like surf rock feel.
Yeah. And then we have this that he chopped up. And that half of it is by itself, and then half of it plays over the fill. And then we added, I don't have these labeled. I should have labeled them. But we have Audio 45 here, which is just a big old distorted woo. I think that's me.
That's a Ric Flair moment.
Is that me?
That's you.
That's me.
Yeah.
It's funny. A distortion.
Yeah.
I was like, that maybe could have been you.
Could have been, yeah.
And it is, yeah, that is completely just us being inspired by Ric Flair, who Will Ferrell was inspired by for his character, Ashley Schaefer, BMW. Will Flair. And we also put in...
Essential. Honestly.
Yeah.
That really made the whole part.
Yeah. So that started out with me just going, and then, no, I'm kidding. Then we layered it with plugins, and no, that is just a Canon sample. So
it's just a Canon, no plugins.
There's a song by Queens of the Stone Age on Songs for the Deaf called Six Shooter, and in that song there's a big moment where the drums, all the music really kicks in, and it sounds like an explosion. And I was like, what are we gonna do? Like, I was just thinking with instruments, like, what are we gonna do that could make that happen, you know? How do I mix it?
Yeah.
And then I think at some point we're just like, let's just put an explosion in the track. Like, who cares? It'll give us the effect. And it really fucking does. So if you hear this part going into it, I mean, listen, now you'll hear that explosion. You're not gonna be able to unhear this. You'll hear the whole fill. That is insane.
Play it without.
Oh yeah, it's weak. Lame.
Wimpy.
Lame. Yeah, so that had to be in there. Woo!
Yeah, dude.
So the combination of those two, I mean, that's perfect. What an insane sound. I ended up using that explosion on the Schwamm record, too.
The same one?
Yes,
Wow.
The same Canon. I have that banked in my
Dude.
samples.
Human Zoo's coming after you.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it for the drums. Yeah, and there's at some point I do my big triplet fill here. You can listen to that. That's always been in the song. Classic. All right, and then something sounded like it got weird right there. What just happened? I don't know. Okay, so now let's go on a bass. This is a pretty distorted bass tone, I think, all the way through, right? It seems like we split up the chorus and the verses, and then the bridge is grouped in with the chorus.
Well, let's see why.
Yeah, I don't know. All I have on the verse stuff with the bridge, or no, this is split up in a weird way. I don't know why I did this, but this is just a multi-band compressor and then some EQ. That's an angry bass sound.
Yeah, it is.
That's just a different tone. We just changed the tone.
It's like some weird overtones in this. It's like going 2 octaves or 3 octaves up, glitching out.
We must have used a pedal with this. Well, I know we used the Big Muff bass. That's where the distortion's coming from. On to guitars here. I do remember what happened here. Right, so this is the orange. This is all the orange. For sure. All played by you, right?
Yeah.
And then in the choruses, so I'll mute these actually, we felt that that wasn't enough. Something else had to come in and just make the whole thing more grand. And we did that by using a very small amp. So this is, I don't remember what guitar, but we were going through the Elifuzz. I had just got this custom-ish pedal. It was made by our friend Greg Novick, and he recreated a dirt transmitter that I always get the Earthquaker makes. Yes, so they discontinued this pedal, couldn't get any more. He was able to make it for me, which was really cool. And then his daughter, I don't have it over here. Yeah, but his daughter is obsessed with elephants, and she drew a little elephant for me on the fuzz pedal. And when he asked me what I wanted to call it, I came up with the name Elifuzz. So it has custom artwork on it too by his daughter. So that's what this is. And that is going through a little tiny Fender amp that I bought at a weird antique store in the middle of PA for like $15. That's my Jack White secret weapon amp.
Yeah.
So all together, that's doing something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So here's all just the drums and the guitar and the bass. Yeah, I'm just boosting some top end, cutting some lows, filling out that mid range. Then we have something that happens here at the end. I think I know what this is. So that is the Enzo, correct?
That is also, that's guitar.
That's guitar.
Folks. That's guitar plus pedals.
Yeah, and we have just some EQing I'm doing and some distortion. Let's see. Just a little more aggression out of it. But yeah, that's guitar. And so all those things together at the end here. Demonic frogs. That's what that sounds like to me.
Yeah.
A demonic frog.
Yeah.
A toad.
Yeah.
Demonic toad. What's more marketable, demonic frog or demonic toad?
Bowser?
But what would you put on a pedal?
Probably Bowser.
You just put Bowser. You get copyright
Having-
infringement.
Having Bowser on a distortion pedal.
You'd have to get like
The
his.
coolest fucking thing.
You'd have to
ever.
get like his cousin Rouser.
Yeah.
You can't afford Bowser. And okay, so now into the bridge, we have some stuff that happens here. And that's reinforced by some synths too, which we'll take a look at in a second. But yeah, I automated some stuff here. At the end of this sequence here, we hear a lot of choppy stuff. So I automated a tremolo to kick in with a crazy depth on eighth notes. So it almost acts like a bucket head kill switch.
Yeah.
Now, that's really probably what was in the back of my mind when this was happening. Like, I was just thinking of playing Jordan on Guitar Hero 2.
Oh, true.
So yeah, that was maybe what influenced that. And so this happens on these guitars here. And then it also happens on whatever these synths are. Okay, so they were kind of already built in. Oh, one of these is not a synth. One of these is not a synth. This. That's you.
Right.
That's your vocal.
Through a pedal.
Through
my looping.
Your looping station.
Yeah.
So what's that? What is that thing?
Boss RC 505 looping station.
Right.
It's called the lo-fi effect.
Yeah. So I guess you just did that with a mic, like we just recorded that.
Yeah, for sure.
But did you just go boom?
I was singing.
And then
no, I went okay. I remember it being hard to like be really on time with that.
So that creates that staccato feel and that choppy feel that happens here at the end too. That helps it. And then also Zach played this on the Korg Mini Log. And then we filter sweep it. And so that really opens everything up at the end. What a cool transition. I love that. What else we got? Bridge verb crazy. When I do decide to name something.
Bridge verb crazy.
Yeah, when I do decide to name something.
Make sure it's vague and sensationalist.
Yeah. It's just the ad-libbing of a 1990s drum and bass track. Like that's how I decide to label things.
Oh man.
It's this.
Thought that was the microwave.
Dude, no, the stove. When the timer goes off.
Yeah.
Dude, still to this day, we have to do. Maybe we'll include it at the end of this video.
It's so funny because I've been living here long enough now to like that triggers me now.
Yeah.
It didn't before. Oh man. That's fucked up.
So
it's the same note.
It has to be.
It is.
It has to be.
It is. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I've been living here for much longer than Spence, and so I was so used to hearing when my stove timer would go off. You know, I'm trained to know to go upstairs. When this happened in the session on like playback, I was like, what the fuck is in the stove? Or what's in the oven? And there was nothing. And I was like, holy shit, that's the same note.
Yeah.
And we have yet to actually confirm it. That first higher note that comes in there. So yeah, these were just crazy delay guitars. not a very pleasant sound. It's very Silent Hillish. And then we have fucked chords. Mm-hmm. That's music theory, by the way.
True. This is Alex.
Yeah. And there is a lot of stuff happening on these. We have some pitch stuff happening. They're sample delayed, so this creates almost like a stereo effect. But then I also put on like basically the same sort of a thing with the delay, I guess, just to make it even more intense. Yeah, little extra flutter there. Let's drag this in. This is bothering me. And yeah, so Alex added that. That was definitely not in the original. The like sitarish Middle Eastern riff kind of always was in there in some form or another. Maybe the exact rendition of it here was a little different, but. Chorus lead, I labeled that one right. That's why I couldn't find it. If that was audio 17, I would have seen it. And he's just doing bluesy rock and roll guitar. That's a Hami ripoff right there. Yeah, so he does that in both choruses. I think they're a little different each time around, but okay, on the vocals.
Thinking what I should sell, what I have to go waste my chance to rate the value, feeling of the virtue, rating of the virgin eye. Stain up on the carpet, ain't nobody cleaning. Tell me what's the meaning, why?
So in all the versions, probably some kind of distortion, right? You're distorting a little bit. I think that the newer addition to this was all this slapback that we're adding, which there's quite a lot of on the tape. So at 184 and tons of saturation, that's where all the distortion's coming from. It's from that plugin. So yeah, and then just doubled right up the middle.
Living in a motel, thinking what I should sell, what I have to go waste my chance to reap the value, feeling the virtue, bleeding of the virgin eye.
Let's hear that in the context of the song.
What I have to go waste my chance to reap the value, feeling.
I don't hate it.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, I don't hate it, but I think
Sounds like Black Sabbath.
Thinking what I should sell, what I have to go waste my chance to reap the value.
that gives it enough energy to match the rest of the song,
Yeah.
because everything else is so bombastic and insane. Like the vocals needed that energy too. And here's the chorus vocals. So there's a lot of good stuff happening here. We'll do the backgrounds right after.
The key, we've got the key to ourselves, and yet nobody believes in.
I labeled it. I labeled it appropriately. So yeah, more of the same basically. I'm maybe not distorting as much here. Different slapback. A different slapback.
Why? We've got the key to ourselves. Of the virgin eye.
Yeah, those are a little weirder and wackier. This is a little tighter here. And then I'm just compressing that group. And yeah, and then we did these fun background vocals.
And yet nobody believes in themselves. No.
I love those. I think they're so cool. So that's maybe me, you, and Zach. I don't know if you did any of these actually.
Yeah, some of that's me.
That's you. And then maybe we got 2 of.
That's you. That's you.
I know.
I knew sooner.
And then I think this is maybe Alex actually. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. So all together.
I was basically yodeling.
That might be it. We cut these separately at the end. The song originally, we cut out all the music to have a stop here. It originally did not do this. Yeah, we had you scream that on just one track.
100% surge tanking
Yeah, and then
mode.
the serial killer. Solo it. Let's solo it. Same thing at the end of Baby. So that's it. That's the whole song. That's Motel. So it's gone through a few different revisions. I think this is the best one. It's probably gonna be the last
And
one.
the last.
Yeah, I don't think we're ever gonna redo
Till
this
the
song.
next record.
Yeah, we're gonna just keep putting this song out. But yeah, I love the way the production came out on this, and this came together very quickly. I think we did this pretty much in a day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we human stewed it.
we were sort of in the swing of doing human stews pretty regularly, and then I think by the time we got to this and Fever Dream, these were the last 2 songs that were added to the record, and those came together very fast. Woo!